7:00. Dear ones, happy Wednesday and welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. And this is our Wednesday midweek oasis. I'm Reverend Sunshine Michelle Coleman, and I am your host tonight. And I'm delighted to be here to play with you all and with this beautiful team and with this beautiful speaker that we are presenting tonight. But before I spill the beans on that one, let me follow my script to make sure, because I know how to ad-lib really well, and I will have left something out, and I don't want you to miss one drop of what the team has for you. Our annual theme for 2023 that we've been playing with all year long is Living Out Loud, and boy, have we done a good job of that. Our monthly theme for September that we've been enjoying is Love Out Loud. There's never too much love, and why keep it in? Let's love it out loud, right? And tonight, our own Reverend Geri Carter is going to continue the topic of love thy neighbor that our ministerial student Brother Lucian Baker, brought on Sunday, and so many people enjoyed it. So we look forward to Reverend Geri continuing the topic. And as we gather tonight, I want to welcome you, whether it's your first time or you've been coming all along. And it's interesting for me to say this because the team put it in the script. I didn't, but I love saying it. That they remembered that early on in my ministry, when I started as senior minister here, I invited us all to come to the center well. And to do so, I shared 6 C's for us to consider and incorporate into our daily living. Here are the 6 C's. You ready? Okay, the first one is to come with a heart of love and tenderness, which is compassion. The next C is to come ready to exchange openly, and that one is communication. Next, we come in friendship and in family, which is camaraderie. And then we come in harmony and ready to share, which is communion. Then we come in partnership and cooperation, which is collaboration. And last but certainly not least, we come in spiritual awareness and truth always, and that is consciousness. Those 6 C's, as we move into this program tonight, are the premise of this wonderful evening that we have in store for you. So welcome to our new folks, especially if this is your first time with us. We encourage you to visit our website, which is oaklandcsl.org. That's oaklandcsl.org, and the CSL stands for Centers for Spiritual Living. And when you go to our website, on the first page, that home page, there's a big area that says I'm new. And you can click on that, and then on the lower left-hand corner of that page, you can submit your email address to be added to our distribution for our weekly e-newsletter called The Village News. And in that, it's chock full of information about what's happening at our center. A few housekeeping notes before we get into the talk. We would like for you to mute your own audio to make sure that we have a quality recording. And we have our tech team on duty and on standby. If for some reason we have background noise, they will mute you. And you can keep your video on if you would like, and so that you can see, your fellow teammates around the circle. Even though they're squares, we know they're circles. Okay. So we also invite you to stay tuned to the very end of our session tonight, because we have some special important announcements. So without further ado, I would like to reintroduce you, because, as I say, we're all meeting each other for the first time tonight, even though some of us know each other well. We have our own very beloved staff minister, Reverend Geri Carter, here with us tonight. And she is so precious to our community. She's just so beloved for her presence, her power, her energy, her compassion, her 30-second miracle prayers, or 3 minutes, whatever you want to call it. She's a powerful one, and she's going to not only open us in prayer, then she's going to kick us off with her talk. So let us give some snaps and claps for Reverend Geri Carter. Yay!
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Reverend Sunshine Michelle, and everybody. Everybody on the call. I feel so blessed to be a part of this evening's service, and so grateful for each and every one of you this evening. So I invite us all to take a deep breath as we move into prayer, knowing that there is only one of us here. There's only one divine power and presence, and it's always, forever giving of itself. It's giving of love and joy and harmony and abundance and goodness in every way, shape, and form. This one divine power and presence is known by many names, and I choose to call it Mother, Father, God this evening, knowing that we are absolutely surrounded by a powerful, almighty, and amazing presence that is always with us. There is no separation. There is only the one. And as we breathe this in, knowing that God's grace and love is everywhere present in our hearts and in our lives and with each other, we come together in communion and union with each other as the one, in the one, with the one. And so I'm so very grateful for this evening's venue, and I'm so very grateful to be a part of it. It's been a while, and I'm just simmering in the love that I feel and the love of our community for each and every one here on our call, those that are yet to arrive, and for those that are not with us this evening. We know that they are with us in our hearts and perhaps at a future viewing of this service. I'm very grateful for all that is transpiring, and I'm grateful for these beloveds. I'm grateful for the collaboration and the energetic of abundance and love that I always feel with our spiritual community. How good God is. And I just invite us now to breathe that in and bring gratitude into our hearts right here and right now. And please also bring gratitude to this amazing team, our AV team, who without them, this service would not be possible. And for our beautiful, loving heart of Reverend Sunshine Michelle Coleman. We are so blessed to have her as our spiritual leader. God is so good. God is so good. Just join me in knowing that as I let these words drift into that universal law of love, the law that always, always, always says yes to our heart's desires. How good it is, how gracious God is, how grateful I am, and I know that we all are this day. And I let it be now, and so it is. Love out loud. I love that we love out loud. I love that Reverend Sunshine Michelle loves out loud. And she gets us all stirring, that energetic of hers, that beautiful smile, and that dedication to our spiritual community and to us individually. We are so blessed. How about love thy neighbor? That's our topic this week. But before we get started, I want us all to claim and accept these statements. So please join me. You can say it out loud. If your microphone's off, it's okay. Just say these words along with me. God is all there is. God is love, and love is all there is. I look for love in every place I go. I live an example of love in action. So just breathing those words in. So, we talk a lot about creating a world that works for everyone. In order to create a world that works for everyone, we must embrace everyone's voice. Sometimes I think that baby steps are required to get us there. But in loving thy neighbor, what is ours to do? Can you see God in everyone you see? And how do we do that? Do you actively practice radical forgiveness? And how do you lean into love when you are challenged by others' actions? I think these are all great questions, and I'll put them in the chat later because we are going to break out into discussion groups on these questions. But that's a little bit later on. So let me get on with the talk here. Reverend Sunshine Michelle Coleman often talks about mindfulness, being present to each and every moment, using conscious concentration. This is what I'm inviting us to do as we explore the topic of love thy neighbor. Because when we are surrounded by people of all ages, races, sexual orientation, political affiliations, spiritual beliefs, cultural backgrounds, and life experiences, we have a big, big opportunity to embrace our own understanding of love. Remember, it all begins with us. It always begins with us. So I say, how can we love others if we can't love ourselves? How can we love others if we can't love ourselves? So, a few more questions just to ponder. Have you ever felt betrayed? Hurt by another's words? Confused about the world affairs such as war and violence? I'd like to share a quote with you from our founder, Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes says, "A constant realization of the presence of spirit will provide a sense of divine companionship that no other attitude could produce." Let me read that one more time. A constant realization of the presence of spirit will provide a sense of divine companionship that no other attitude could produce. So you see, the presence of the divine is always with us. We are never separate from it. It is never separate from us. But how often do we forget this? I know we do. I know our human feelings and self step in, and oftentimes we forget that power of the divine resides within us all the time. And knowing this helps us appreciate the spiritual life we're experiencing every day. Just knowing that the grace and the goodness of the one is surrounding us and taking care of our earthly needs. So start looking for love in all people and all places. I want to share a little bit of a story with you about Reverend Karen Fry. Reverend Karen Fry was a former practitioner and minister at OCSL. She's now in Dallas. But she had a movement when she was here, and she still has that movement. It's called Be Love. I even have one of her t-shirts. Her logo is represented in lots of areas, stickers, t-shirts, and icons affirming Be Love. So I noticed on Facebook just recently that she's traveling. She has a spiritual travel agency, and she's in some faraway place. And on her Facebook page, she posted that she just had a tattoo on her arm that says what? Of course, Be Love, with her logo on it. She represents Be Love in such a big way and embraces it, obviously, in such a big way. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out and get a tattoo. That's not what this is all about. But just love more. Just love more. Affirm more love. Affirm more love in your life. Affirm more love. So, as we become centered in God's grace, and we have many modalities for that, as you know, through our meditation, through our prayer, through our conscious communication with Spirit, we expand our hearts into the world, seeing God in all things. We cross the threshold of whatever is holding us back from loving ourselves more deeply and being that place of love in the world. Just see love in all things, because love and God are synonymous, yes? And the big questions are, let's be with these, simmer in these a little bit. Can we love each other more by accepting people for who they are? If we consciously engage in self-healing work, it demonstrates our commitment to support people of different identities. So I say be an advocate for each other. This type of advocating has made major changes in the world and will continue to do so as long as we stand in our truth, as long as we are open and receptive. I mean, some simple example. Well, they're not simple, they're huge examples. The civil rights movement in the 1960s to abdicate Jim Crow's laws in the South. Wow. What about the nonprofit organizations around the world, and we have many of them represented at Oakland Center, that work to rescue enslaved people and those individuals that are entrapped in human trafficking? To see more love in our communities and the world, we must be more love. We can show our love by actively supporting organizations such as these and others. The organizations that are performing human rights work in all areas, including those people marginalized in their own communities. How about supporting people of different identities? This is our work, and it starts and ends with us. And here's a big one. And in the meditation, I brought this in about practicing forgiveness, because we know that forgiveness is a form of love. And I think it's a rather big one. We can forgive so-and-so 70 times 7, as Edwene Gaines suggests. Or we can do the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is a Hawaiian tradition, repeating a mantra for someone we are choosing to forgive. So first of all, I ask you to think about someone right now in this moment you choose to forgive. And say with me, opening your heart to love, this mantra. Have you got your person? I do. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. So this week, I encourage us all and invite us to identify this forgiveness practice, whichever one we connect to most. It could just simply be, it can simply be saying, I love you. To release any resentment we may be carrying. because there are times when we carry hard feelings and resentment and we don't realize how much they weigh us down. When we can simply step into loving more. It may be one of these or something else that moves you into forgiveness and release, to let go of that baggage that binds. It's big work, but it is our work to do. So let us remember from the Science of Mind, page 503. Without love, nothing can be accomplished. With love, all things are possible. And as we love, our prayers are answered and the gift of heaven is made. One more time. Without love, nothing can be accomplished. With love, all things are possible. And as we love, our prayers are answered and the gift of heaven is made. That's from our Science of Mind. So what I'd like to do is take a moment now to pop into the chat the questions, and I'll go over them again. Let's see. Well, give me one moment.
I can type them if you say them.
I have them right here and they should go right in. So give me 1 second. Here we go. Thank you, Reverend Sunshine. Okay. And let's paste them. There we go. So the questions for our breakout room that I mentioned earlier are, in loving thy neighbor, what is ours to do? The next one is, can you see God in everyone you see? How do we do that? Let's find ways to do that we can share with one another as a great reminder. Do you actively practice radical forgiveness? What does that look like? And how do you lean into love when you are challenged by others' actions? Got them? They're in the chat. So Peter, if you would please break us out into breakouts, 2 or 3 or whatever you choose, it's fine. And we'll have about 10 minutes to work over these questions. And then when we all come back together, I'd love for us to share, because I think this is big work and I think it's work that is important for all of us. And yes, let's just share what's happening with us in this area of loving thy neighbor.
Hold on, Rev. Somebody new just came in, so I gotta add them.
Oh, good. Okay. Wonderful.
Actually, a good thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it looks like there's 12 of us, so you could do 2s or 3s. See you soon. Thank you, Peter.
I couldn't get Grady to go into a room, so
Okay,
He-
I
he's
can work
here.
with
He's
Grady,
here.
right? Oh,
Right here.
great, you can't,
I don't know if she doesn't know how to do it. I don't know if there's a technical problem, but
the
if she-
recording is still on too.
yeah, yeah.
I
But
thought
and
you wanted to pause it. Mm.
everybody's in a room except for Grady and you that want to be in a room. Grady, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Okay. I could didn't go into a room, so can you do?
Have you ever been into a breakout room, Grady? You might have to do it on your phone. Peter, you might want to pause the recording, right?
Oh,
I
thank-
did press something that says, that instructed me. I thought I was.
Hey, unmute myself. Okay. Hello, good to see those of you who've come along, Sri Devi and Judith and who else did I just see? Oh,
Priya?
Freya. Hi,
Yeah.
Freya. Yes, good to see you. So I hope you were able to participate in our questions a little bit. Okay. And so there goes my timer. Okay. So Rev Deb and I were partners, and we had a great conversation, and we both were experiencing sort of similar opportunities to love more. And I love that we came up with some mantras, one that I use regularly, which is I surrender to the power and presence of God within me. And I loved Rev Deb's be still and know that I am God, be still and know. Oh, Rev Deb, you give it. I wrote it down, but I didn't write it down the way you gave it.
What came to me was be still and know God. And then it's be still, and then what came after was be still and know me as God.
Ask God. Thank you. Mm.
Hmm.
So how did those questions resonate with you? Did you come to any conclusions or deeper understanding of forgiveness and loving more? Hi, Megan. Who would like to share? Let's open it up.
I'm glad to share. I read here.
Hi, Irene.
Hi, Megan and I were partners, and I had the pleasure of making friends with this sweet lady, and then I remembered that this week it was a Love Thy Neighbor. My wonderful neighbor did help me on Saturday. I don't know if anybody knows Uber or how to use Uber, but it was my first time. And John was hiking, of course. So there I am struggling with this thing, trying to get into San Francisco. And my neighbor came out and saw me doing all this. And he says, let me use my Uber, Irene, and then you can pay me for it. Wow. And I said, I'll worry about getting home when I get to it was the Greek festival. So I went, and then of course coming back was another problem. You know, it's just, I mean, if you're ever in San Francisco, it's crazy. And and somebody did I call these people angels. They come into my life when I'm really needing some help. And his name was Geri. And there he was. He stuck with me until I could get the Uber to take me home.
Nice.
So it was Love Thy Neighbor. And I don't know if any of you know this, but I came from a very abusive background. My mother was very abusive. And when I say that, I'm not talking about punishment. I'm talking about beatings that created PTSD in me. So that's pretty hard, right? And so I tell you, I work on that issue in many ways. And I don't force myself to forgive her. I go as far as I can. I have compassion for where she came from. I have understanding for her life. But forgiveness to me it's a lifelong process. Rev, I don't know. I hope you're not going to think harshly of me if I say I'm not ready to do it all, but I work on it. I really do. I don't want to carry that kind of corpse around my neck. And I want to be love. I want to be just those things that you're saying. Thank you. That's all I'm going to say.
Doing the work, Irene. Thank you, hun, very much. I noticed that Alice's hand is up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's get you in view. Ah, okay. Hi, Alice.
In a field of tulips.
Oh,
Oh,
Alice,
you're
Unmute yourself, Alice.
here we're tiptoeing through your tulips and you're talking away. Hi.
Okay. I wanted to respond to a couple of questions. These are very good questions. And the first one is, in loving thy neighbor, what is ours to do? Oh, I get hung up when I get arrogant, you know? So I try to keep a little radar out when I'm getting an attitude like, what are you being arrogant? What's going on with you? And try to reflect on that. And sure enough, there's always something to look at and to kind of go inside and, okay, what's going on? What do you need? Are you feeling separate or are you one with the one, right? And then the other thing I wanted to respond to is, how do you lean into love when you are challenged by others' actions? Well, that's the hardest one for me, right? When I'm challenged. And so what came to mind was, in God, all things are possible. I don't have to know how to do it. All I have to do is to be willing, and something is revealed to me every time. The secret is getting myself to be willing to open up and to let go and to shift. So I'm complete. Thank you so much.
Thinking that and being aware of that is the opportunity to step into that knowingness and know that being willing to shift, being willing, period, is powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful practice. Do we have any other?
well.
Did it.
Okay. Yeah, I had a really nice talk with Freya, and I realized that, I mean, my life is a little bit small right now. So I'm not interacting with a lot of people outside except, online, or my family, my daughter, granddaughter, great grands. And I have my actual neighbors in this building. I always really like them. So I don't have anything that I have to fix with them. Actually, they're all very nice. So, but I still maintain my practice when I'm going for a walk to the dog park or something, or if I sit down, and I'm someone who always has liked to talk to strangers in line at the grocery store, on the bench at the dog park, and just walking. It's a practice that I feel belongs in this category of greeting someone, saying hi, or just smiling at them. And it's very deliberate. I look for people to do it with out there. So those are my neighbors, but I'm not closely interacting with them. The other thing was about forgiving. I thought about that, and generally in general, forgiveness of people that I interact with on a regular basis and I care about them. Well, I follow my sister's practice, which is that she did not hold grudges. It wasn't that she didn't get mad at someone she was interacting with, but she did not hang on to it. And so that was one of the things that she left me as a way to be in life. And then I thought, there's somebody in my life it's not directly in my life. He's in the life of somebody that I love. And when I pray for the person that is somebody that I love dearly, my granddaughter and my great grands, I just realized this pointed away for me here, because it's like, I have not in a regular basis prayed for this person and I maintain my negative feelings toward that person. I try not to, but I recognize them. And so tonight gave me kind of a place to put that and to think about, this person is my neighbor in a certain way. He's part of my extended family. And it doesn't help me, and it's not following the ways of love that I want to follow by just maintaining this way of looking at this person. So I thank you for this, just in that, and for me bringing that person into my view, or my heart's view, made me, I think I realized that it doesn't matter what the ordinary Judith thinks about him. It just matters what God thinks about him. And he is beloved of God as well. And so I think this gave me an opportunity to really just open up to allowing myself to send love in his direction.
And you know,
And so I thank you.
you're welcome, Judith. And it never hurts to treat for your own movement and shift in consciousness around this circumstance.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
And I would like to add just a couple things. Random acts of kindness are a beautiful way to love thy neighbor. And simple things, opening a door for somebody or just a smile can change someone's experience. So just being in that place of random acts of kindness. The other thing I wanted to say is, it doesn't have to be, a person that's your neighbor. You could watch the news and find lots of opportunities to be in forgiveness or love more, right? So
Yeah, I was just, I
all
don't
of
know
us.
if I'm interrupting someone else's time, but there was one thing that about a couple of years ago that I started doing, and I would like to return to it, because there are still people on the news that I have, there's a gut reaction to some of these people. And
So share with me real quickly what it is you
yeah,
would do.
what it was that I see them as a child, a baby almost. They're the baby. Nothing has happened to them yet. They're just, inside of them is that baby that God brought onto this earth. And I can love that baby. That baby doesn't have anything to be forgiven for.
Okay, love you, dear. Thank you for your sharing. Is there anyone else before we close up here? Couple minutes. Well, then I will turn it back over to you, dear Reverend Sunshine Michelle.
Thank you, Reverend Jerry. I'm wondering if you can perhaps just read the lovely quote that you incorporated into the meditation that you opened and closed with, since we had some people here that weren't in the meditation.
Okay, let's see.
I'm sorry if you don't have it right in front of you.
Oh, I have it. I just had to find my specs because it's a little in the dark. My eyes get need a little help. So I invite everyone to just close your eyes and go within. Let's just take a breath together. And just release all the love within us, letting it go. And know that love is the emotional and spiritual energy that ties you to those who have hurt you. The issues that seem to defy forgiveness are always aligned in some way with love. The love you never received, the love that you offered and others rejected or betrayed, the love that was used to manipulate or control you. Love is the basis of your life's well-being. But in tying your spiritual energy reserves to old hurts, you are severely limiting the energy of love available to you in the present moment.
Mm.
Perhaps this is the time to search your heart for those you still need to forgive more fully. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is. That's a beautiful way to close. Once again, let's give some snaps and claps or some emojis or icons or whatever you call those things up for Reverend Geri. Yay! Reverend Geri Carter, our beautiful Reverend Geri. Thank you for a lovely message. And so, beloveds, as we prepare to wind down our evening here, we do have a few important announcements that I'd like to share with you. Our host, I'm not sure which one will be up next week, but Paul and or Reverend Sally will be back next week for our Wednesday Oasis. And I just wanted to throw that in. And this Sunday, September 24th, the last Sunday of September, if you can believe it, I'll be speaking. I'll be back. I've been away for 2 weeks, and so I'll be speaking about love wins. Meditation is at 10 in the morning, and service starts at 10:30. And we will be having New Member Sunday. We were scheduled to have it this Sunday, but instead we're pushing it out by 1 week, and it will be on October 1st instead. So be sure and be there to welcome our new members. And next Wednesday, when Paul or Reverend Sally, I think it will be back. It will be Wednesday, September 27th. Practitioner Regina Buckwalter will be coming to present to us and continue on the topic of love wins. Meditation is at 6:30. And service starts at 7. It's all virtual by Zoom, as we are tonight. And this Friday, September 22nd, is our diversity circle. We have Sri Devi here with us tonight, and she's the host of this and has brought in great speakers, and you'll want to join it. It's by Zoom, and there will be 2 Tibetan refugees, Tashi Kunjo and Dundup Wang Chin, who will present on Tibetan refugees, insider stories. And they have a lovely background. They've had this rich experience that I'm not going to read all the way through because we're short on time, but you won't want to miss it. It's just going to be a lovely time. I'm going to try to be there myself. It's on a love offering basis. You can sign up on our website under oaklandcsl.org, and the Zoom link will be on the diversity page under the groups tab or in the Village News, which comes out tomorrow. And Sri Devi, I don't have the time. Is it 7 o'clock that this starts?
Yes.
Yes, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock this
Via Zoom.
Friday. Please be sure to join. And then if you want a Science of Mind refresher, we invite you to take the Spiritual Principles and Practices class, transformative teaching that I'll be teaching. We've extended the date out to start on Tuesday, October 3rd. It will go for 5 weeks. So every Tuesday, there's 5 Tuesdays in October. and it will be at 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. It will be on Zoom. The registration deadline is coming up next week on Tuesday, September 26th. And I'll be your guide, and we will have a great time together to enhance mine too, spiritual growth. The cost is $200, and if you're, which is a great deal for a 5-week course, you'll get a certificate at the end. And so you can register either on our website, at oaklandcsl.org under classes, or you can contact Constance Chapman at constance@oaklandcsl.org if you're interested in a tuition grant. Our nonprofit partner applications are now open. You can, for 2024, you can download the application from the nonprofit partner page on our website under About Us, and you'll see a drop down, and you click on nonprofit partner, or you can pick up a flyer on Sunday at the check-in table. There's so much happening at our center. As you know, we have lots of events and classes and workshops. I'm so delighted for the activities that we have going. Please visit our website, which is again oaklandcsl.org. You can sign up for our newsletter if you're not already on there, which I think most folks are. But if you're new, you can go to our website, and there's an I'm New button on the home page. Click that, and it will ask for some information, and you'll be added to our distribution list. And remember to follow us on social media. You know the big three: Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And we have special updates. We encourage you to like us and subscribe to Oakland CSL today. We have a great team. This is only a partial team that you'll see on our contact team. We have a great team serving our community in a lot of variety of ways. Constance Chapman, who isn't here tonight, is our administrative and education coordinator. I'm your proud spiritual director and senior minister. We have Maureen French, who's sometimes here, but she's not tonight. But she's our board president and also a practitioner. Susan Brecker is the able and capable hands holding down our facilities use as the manager of that. Dorothy Mendez, who's often on here as well, is a practitioner and heads up the Ministry of Prayer. Dal Becker is our bookkeeper, and Sanford Livingston is the vice president of our board and has the portfolio of the facilities team. So this is just a small snippet of the many folks who are on board to take care of us at our center. And last but not least, it's our time of joyous giving. We don't want to leave anything without being able to give gratitude, give our love, give of our time, talent, and treasure. And so what we'd like to do is always say an affirmation for our blessing, and I'll share with you shortly. I think most of you know, but for those of you who don't, how you can give online. First off, though, whatever you have to give, or even if it's automatically already queued up, if you put your hands over your heart to represent that giving consciousness that is not only coming out of your account, your wallet, your whatever it is that you're giving from, and let us recite together out loud this affirmation that's on the screen. Here we go. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies this offering. It blesses all that I am, all that I give, and all that I circulate. Thank you, love as me. And so it is. I also, let me just go to the next slide with Peter to show you how to give, or you can instruct somebody else how to give by going to our website, which is again, oaklandcsl.org. You click on the donate button, and what will happen is it will take you to a page that shows you 5 ways to give, which is to donate through credit card. You can mail in a payment, our address is there. You can give by Zelle. You can give text to give, or when you're at the service on Sunday in person, you can put your offering and your giving consciousness into the offering basket. And we thank you in advance for your giving, because it certainly goes a long way to support our activities at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. One last announcement that was not in my script that I just remembered is our bookstore is going to be closed for 2 weeks. So I'm giving you a heads up. It's going to be closed starting Sunday, October 1st. Not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, and then the Sunday after that. So October 1st and October 8th. The bookstore will be closed. So if you need to get something, you should get it this Sunday. And thank you. Thank you for who you are and what you bring and how you show up. We love you and appreciate you so much. So with that, we're going to close out by Reverend Geri leading us in a prayer, and then we're going to unmute after that and say bye-bye, ta-ta to each other.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It was such a delight and pleasure to be with everybody this evening. And if you want to capture the chat, I did place that reading in the chat for anyone who would like it. So I invite you now to go within and let's just take a deep breath, filling our hearts with the fullness of life, the love, the forgiveness, the goodness, all the sharing, everything that has transpired, for we know it is all Spirit ordained, that there is only one of us sharing this experience together in unison with the divine, knowing that God's grace and love is everywhere present and surrounding us, and that we are always guided and directed by the presence of this love, knowing that all is in divine and perfect order each step of the way in our life's journey. So as we shared this evening our mantras and our sayings, we know that we hold close to our hearts that divine love, that loving thy neighbor, showing up in a kind and most loving way each step of the way in this life's journey, and know that all is divinely inspired and divinely directed for us to step into the goodness of life. And I'm so very grateful for all that participated. I'm so grateful for our spiritual family, our spiritual community. And I'm so grateful to know that God's grace and love is everywhere present in our lives, each step of the way. And it's with this appreciation and gratitude for each and every one, I release these words into the universal law of love. Just giving thanks for all that has transpired, giving thanks for this spiritual energetic that exists within us, how good God is, and I am so grateful to let it be. And please join me now in saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
It is. And so, beloveds, I invite you to take your